Welcome back to the Manor. Julian McBain here, and we are back with Entropia Universe. It's been a minute, guys. How you all doing? So, in case you're wondering, I never actually abandoned Entropia. I did take a couple of breaks, but I have been in. I do still play, and I've been farming this particular set of dailies on Cyrene. Because I'm going after that Imperium armor. So, I've been working semi-diligently on it. I'm currently at, 90 of the faction badges. You need 200. And I've done the bulk of the faction missions that I'm actually capable of doing at my level. The ones that actually get you the badges. Where are they? I've got so many missions, guys. Here they are, the Arc faction missions. Like, I'm too low a level to do the bulk of the ones I've got left. So, as I level up, I will go do these and level up. But in the meantime, let's do our dailies. So, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Please take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Okay, so I want to provide everyone with an update because I know I've been streaming regular gaming content, not a whole lot of Entropia Universe. I had hoped to get back into pre-recorded content sooner than this. A lot has happened in the last year, so I wanted to share some of that with you to just kind of give you an update as to what's going on, so you're aware of why everything happened the way it happened. So for those of you who do not know, I work in the financial services industry, which is the second most heavily regulated industry in America. For obvious reasons, I can't tell you what company I work for. That's actually a specific regulation. But needless to say, I am very careful about regulations because of these things. It's to the point where my company actually came into my channel and watched my Personal Finance for Gamers series to make sure there was nothing that was non-compliant. Which is why I stopped doing any content for the better part of a year while that review process was done. So yeah, that's how strict it is. And it is by necessity, right? It's very important that those things be regulated because you don't want conflict of interest. You don't want there to be any form of implicit or explicit endorsement of outside activities. You know, we have to make sure that these things are in place because that's how we make sure things are clean. So that's why I went dark for the better part of a year. And so finally that was approved and I was able to start streaming again. And I went strictly streaming. For those of you that aren't content creators and other content creators that watch my channel, please back me up on this. Creating content is a lot of work. It's good work. I enjoy the work, but it is a lot of work. So when you have a lot of things going on, sometimes it's hard to keep up with the work. Now, I've done my best to do so. I try not to skip streaming days if I can, because it's important that I can maintain that consistency and that schedule. And that's why when I was hardcore at it, there was a time period, and some of the OGs on the channel will know this, I was literally dropping content every single day of the week. Now, this is back when I thought I might have a chance of getting on one of the teams, but the teams don't look for content like mine, and that's fine. That's their jam. They're mostly looking for things like Call of Duty or Battlefield. I don't know if any of them are doing Armored Core. That's something that might happen, and I'm thinking about putting out more Armored Core content, maybe doing some PvP stuff now that I'm about halfway through New Game Plus. Once I get through Plus, then I'll start looking at doing, PvP, because I'll actually have a competitive AC. But it's what the teams, because the teams need to make money. That's the purpose of being in a team, is to be a professional gamer. Well, one, if I'm a professional gamer, quote unquote, it'll be more like what I'm doing here. It'll be YouTube content. It'll be the creation, having fun and posting it online for people's entertainment. It's not going to be go to the big, esports competition and just dominate, because I'm almost 40 and I do not have those reflexes anymore. I'm better, and my fencing helps keep my reflexes, my reaction times up, which is why I'm able to beat a game like Armored Core 6 after running my head into the wall several times, because it's a Souls game. But it's... I can't keep up with a 21-year-old. Like, I don't have the twitch. And that's the way it works. So, getting on the teams is... If a team offers me a spot, hey, that's awesome. If Dare came up to me and said, hey, we want you on our team, you think I'm going to turn them down? That would be stupid. But on the same token, that's not my aim. I'm not, like, going out of my way to do that. I'm doing what I do here, and I'm enjoying myself. So anyway, I tangented, as I'm famous for doing. So what happened is I took this new job. They had to approve things. Okay, cool. I was the head of a business unit, and I was the head of that business unit for just over a year. And that business unit, it was decided to close it down. And so the options were, I can find something internally, or I accept severance. And severance would have been 14 weeks paid. So, like, and I made good money, like really good money. I still make good money, but I mean, in that position, I made really good money. And so I had to make a decision, and it was a hard decision, because being offered the chance at a 14-week paid vacation, like, tell me you wouldn't be tempted. But I still wanted to work for this company because I think it's a good company. So I worked at it, and I looked around, and I had some career conversations with my boss, the one I had at the time. And so what I ended up doing is I did a temporary... So sometimes in order to move laterally, you need to actually step down and wait for a training opportunity. And that's what I did. So I stepped down to the next position down, because the next position requires a lot of... requires certain licenses that I have but don't have currently, because you only have those licenses if you're in a position for them, a position to have them. And then if you don't, you're deregistered, and then you have to get them, you have so long before you have to take the tests again. So I'm in the process of doing that. And so that's where I've been for the last, like, 12 months. That's why my content, even when I started producing content again, that's why it was reduced. That's why I didn't go back in full hog. And I tried, guys. I did. Like, I tried doing the Fallout 4 series that, for whatever reason, I lose steam on Fallout 4. Like, Fallout 3, it took me a couple of tries to get through Fallout 3. Fallout New Vegas, fuck, I could just do that all the time. Like, I love Fallout New Vegas. But it was hard to get back into. It was hard to keep up the energy. So my hope is, like, things are leveling out now. I have a much longer commute. My commute went from 10 minutes to roughly an hour each way. But besides that, the stress level is remarkably lower. Like, what I'm doing now is what I'm good at. Like, the last job I had, I was decent at it. The last position I had, I was decent at it, but it wasn't my forte. And I realized it wasn't my forte, and frankly speaking, it comes out in your work when you're not enjoying it, right? And so I'm back in a position that I really enjoy. I'm doing the job. I'm still paid really well. Not as well as the last position, but well enough. And so it's one of those things where now that the stress is lowered, I'm able to try and refocus on doing content creation again. And please don't think I'm saying these things like to brag or anything. There are plenty of people who make way more money than I do. I'm actually probably slightly above the national average. But it's one of those things where I'm glad that I'm able to start doing this again. And I wanted to explain to you why it dropped off. Now, I know that, like, my subscribership has been hovering around the 745 mark for, like, a year. And that's part of the reason why. Do I want to make 1,000 so I can get the watch time hours to monetize? Of course I do. And now I'm actually allowed to do it. So there's that. But it's one of those things where I create content for fun. I create content for fun. And if it's not fun, or if I don't have the energy to make it while it's fun, I'm not going to be able to do it. And that's what happened. So, okay. All of that aside, we're going to kind of shove that into a corner. That's the life update. Let's talk channel update. Understanding we're in the middle of the holidays, and the holidays are the holidays, and as everyone in content creation world knows, the holidays means schedules get disrupted. Here is my intention and plan. I am currently playing Far Cry 3 on my live streams. Please, if you support my channel, please consider watching those live streams. Whether you do it live or you watch the replays, I would really appreciate it. Far Cry 3 is a fan favorite. For those of you who have never played Far Cry, I highly recommend it. Check it out on my channel, and then if you like what you see, give it a shot. I never thought Far Cry would be my jam. Like, Borderlands is okay. I know some people who just, like, love Borderlands, and it's a great game. But I can only play it for so long because actually the cel-shaded graphics give me a headache after a while. I tried playing that shit in VR, man, and I had 60 minutes before I had to stop because it was making me dizzy. The cel shading. Like, I think it's a really cool way of doing it, but I just, either my eyes or my brain can't process it. Maybe it's the Tourette's, maybe it's the epilepsy, I don't know. Actually, there is no medical evidence that I have epilepsy. But, yeah, anyway. The cel shading is what gets me for Borderlands. Like, I think that the storylines are great. Borderlands 3 didn't really tickle me the way Borderlands 1 and 2 did. Out of them, I think Borderlands 1 was actually the best. Borderlands 2 was definitely tighter on the gameplay. I think the storyline wasn't quite as good as Borderlands 1. And that's me. Borderlands 3, I couldn't get into it. It was too much different. It didn't feel as much like a Borderlands game, in my opinion. And I know that there are going to be Borderlands fans out there who think what I just said is blasphemy, but it is what it is. So I am playing Far Cry 3. I'm still playing Armored Core 6. Most of my Thanksgiving was playing Armored Core 6 New Game Plus. I decided not to keep streaming it because I felt like it was time for the next game. I know a lot of people come to my channel to watch Entropia Universe content, and that's cool. And I really appreciate that. And so, one of the things I've been wanting to do is to start producing new Entropia Universe content. And that's what this is. This is the update. It's an Entropia Universe. You know it's coming back. So now I've got to ask you for some help. I need suggestions on what you want to see out of EU. Like, what questions do you want asked? Do you want this to be like an Entropia news bit? Is it, more of what I've done but updated because a lot of the stuff that I did in the past is now way out of date? I mean, just look at Cyrene. The last time I was here and produced content, this planet was substantially different. There are whole areas they've added. Not to mention what used to be my favorite hunting ground. This right here, this used to be a set of islands. Not a set of islands anymore. So there is that request. If there's something specific you want to see, some specific, like, mission to be covered, or questions regarding how I decided, my play style, throw them in the comments, please. I'll be more than happy to do that on a video. I am going to be doing a lot, as far as I know, my current plan, is to stick to Cyrene for a while so that I can get this armor. For a long time, Cyrene was my quote-unquote home planet. In a lot of ways, that shifted to Toulon. But my goal is to get the armor. I'm going to then probably go back to Toulon to try to farm out that apartment if there are any left at that point. One of my goals for 2024 is to get an in-game apartment, finally. I've been playing it long enough, because I've been playing since 2018. That means this is we're going into my 6th year, I think. 18 to 19, 19 to 20, 21, 22, 2023. No, I started December of 17. So yeah, I think we're actually going into year 7. That's a lot of flowers. Oh boy, this is gonna hurt. Let's see if I can make it work. Let's see if I can make it work. Not my favorite way of doing things, not very efficient. Thankfully, I've got really good evade. So I recently picked up this here. I replaced my adjusted and got the perfected Agilic ring. So that really helps with the dodge. And I also picked up the Athenic ring, which increase, not my dodge, my regen. And then this one gives me the evade. So I've got much better evade than I would otherwise have. Sorry, I got a random text message. I need to make sure it wasn't an emergency. It was my mom sending me their Christmas list. Cause when my old man goes Christmas shopping, one year he made the mistake of using the family, i.e. her Amazon account, to do it. So she knew exactly what she was getting, and so the next year we're like, yeah, Julian will order all the gifts so that they don't show up in a place where the other person can see them and ruin the surprise. Unreachable. Nah, I'm a reach. Come on. What? Despawned. Hey, come here. So yeah, it's my intention to stay on Cyrene. I'm gonna do more than just like the Arc Badge. It's not gonna be Arc Badge farming videos over and over while I discuss topics. There are plenty of missions to do here on Cyrene. I picked up a couple by accident just walking around. So that's going to be part of the plan. I'm going to do some of those. I'm going to do some other random hunting. I was farming low-level Panleons the other day just for kicks because I wanted something like low stress and low level to do while I listened to a training video. And in fact, that's probably what I'm going to do after this video is done being made and uploaded, is listen to some mandatory training videos I got to do because that comes with the territory. And just play Entropia Universe. You know, low-level, low-stress Panleon hunting. And here's something that I want to kind of address, because I've seen... It's been a while since I've seen it. Okay, hang on. Okay, there we go. But in the past, I have seen people, like, razz higher-level players for doing just low-level hunting. And, again, it's been well over a year, I think, but I have seen it. I want to address it real quick because it came to mind. The point of a high-level player, and I'm not saying I'm a high-level player, I'm probably in the low-mid-range. My highest combat skill is level 53. So, I'm not an Uber anywhere near. But I'm definitely not a newbie either. Like, what is level 53 doing hunting level 3 Panleons? And it's like, sometimes you just want to farm, you know, grind out a skill that you don't necessarily have very high. Like, my rifle skills are definitely low in contrast to my sword skills, or maybe I take out a knife and work on my knife fighting, or work on Mind Force. So that's really the bit. And if I'm using like my low level sword doing it, and I do that, it's because I'm probably actually doing something else, and the Entropia is making it so that I've got something for my hands to do. So like in the course of my training, I've got 22 hours of videos I've got to watch, right? And so that's a lot of videos. Do you think that a 40-year-old with ADHD is just going to be able to sit through training video? No. So I listen and watch the training video, and I pay attention to the Entropia just enough to distract my mind enough so that I can focus. And it works. It's worked really, really well. I've learned all kinds of shit while playing Entropia Universe. I've also listened to podcasts. I'm sure all of you probably do this. I'm probably preaching to the choir on this one. So you know what? I'll walk it back. I have heard ridicule. I haven't heard it much anymore. And maybe it was back when I first started that I heard it. But from what I can tell, the elitism of like the Uber group has come down some. Because I remember when I started, that was a huge, like to the point where some of my favorite content creators went out of their way to troll the Ubers. And I haven't seen that in a while. So maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just misremembering shit because it's been a long ass year. So, all right, I gotta find me some level 10 Panleons, and we're coming up past the 20-minute mark. So that's where I'm gonna call it today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad that I'm going to be able to produce content again. Sometimes it's just taking a moment to turn, like, here's the thing. I got so habituated to not turning on the recorder that there were 3 times that I was going to make a video, and because I got distracted, I ran out of time. Like, literally, Twitter stole my time from me. Well, no. I stole my time from me by scrolling Twitter. Really stupid thing to do. So, with that, I'm going to stop here. We'll see you again soon. I'm going to try to pick back up my Sunday, Wednesday pre-recorded schedule. We'll see how that works. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. And as always, I really appreciate all of your support, and we will see you in the next one.